A car caught and carried away in an avalanche, closing Little Cottonwood Canyon for hours as crews cleared the road. Tonight, the warning UDOT has for drivers.
It was so scary, you could feel it, the whole bed was shaking.
A Utah woman sharing her harrowing experience of being in Puerto Rico during several earthquakes, how she wants to help people on the island put their lives back together.
And new details tonight on a key person in the case of 2 missing Idaho children. What we're learning about the brother of their mother.
We said don't let go of her hand, because if you let go of her hand, we might lose her.
2 officers being hailed as heroes after an early morning house fire, how they went through the tense rescue in their own words.
And another storm on the way. Any troubles for your Monday morning commute? I'll let you know in the forecast.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Our top story tonight is the snowstorm heading our way, which will likely make for a messy morning commute for a lot of us.
Let's get right to Breck Bolton with our first alert forecast to show us where it will hit and when. Hi, Breck.
Well, let's first talk about where we've been. Of course, the storm hitting early this morning into the afternoon hours across mainly northern Utah. Snow totals for the valleys anywhere between 1 to 4 inches. A little higher, though, along the benches. You can see Bountiful Bench picking up 5.2 inches. Sandy just over 5 inches. Looking up through Cache Valley, 4 inches in Providence. Some of the Wasatch Mountain valleys, as you look at Morgan, also seeing that range between 2 to 5 inches. Lehigh, 1.5. So again, northern Wasatch front through the Salt Lake Valley, seeing the brunt of the snow for the valleys. Mountains, though, just getting pounded here throughout the weekend. Looking up to the Alta, specifically in Collins area, 30.5 inches. Brighton, over 2 feet of snow. Solitude, 1.5 feet. Park City, 15 inches. And yes, the next storm lining up now. Currently, as we look across northern Utah, we have some clouds, maybe a few flurries across the mountains. We look upstream, though, things beginning to start to fill in just a little bit just north of Tremont. But the next wave, the next cold front making its move, traveling through southern Idaho. This is our next weather maker. It gets here in the overnight hours. Let's take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. As the storm mainly impacting northern Utah, we're talking the Wasatch Front all the way from the Utah-Idaho border through Utah County. As we're looking at snow beginning to fall after midnight, 2 a.m., lingering on through your morning commute, expect to see slushy roads, both for the valleys and the mountains. How much snow is going to fall and what other travel concerns are out there? We'll let you know in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Breck. Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, we're hearing tonight from a man who witnessed an avalanche in Little Cottonwood Canyon.
Yeah, Pete Pellinger took this photo here. He was just 2 vehicles behind the car that was swept away by an avalanche. He was with his brother at the time, and he says when he saw it just out of the corner of his eye, his brother pumped the brakes as quickly as he could.
Him and I braced ourselves for the unknown. We weren't sure really what was going to happen. Our hearts were pounding. And at that point, it was in Mother Nature's hands.
They're okay, and also the driver and everyone inside that car that was partially buried is also okay. But it did close down the canyon for hours today.
And of course, causing a headache for drivers and a big mess for UDOT to clean up.
Tonight, Fox 13's Elle Thomas is joining us at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon with the current conditions and the warning that UDOT has for drivers. Elle?
I mean, not a surprise here, guys. 9 o'clock at night. We haven't had a lot of cars, but cars have been free to move around here since about 3:15 this afternoon following that very, very slow morning. UDOT says they were actually performing some avalanche control work here in the canyon just a few hours before that slide happened.
300 feet wide. More than 1.5 feet deep.
We've got a full-time crew working in this canyon to mitigate this.
When a naturally occurring avalanche came down near White Pine in Little Cottonwood Canyon Sunday morning, it left a big job for heavy machinery.
It is a huge challenge.
The force behind the snow, strong enough to send a car off the road and into the embankment.
It did push them off the road.
Thankfully, crews say everyone was okay, but this wasn't an easy mess to clean up.
Little Cottonwood Canyon is well known as one of the most challenging roads in the world to maintain when it comes to avalanche mitigation.
Signs put in place letting the public know the canyon was once again closed for avalanche control work. Traffic backed up for miles. Anyone above the slide was sent up. Anyone below, right back down. Now, even after the job is done, crews say avalanche danger is still there.
There is a lot of work taking place to keep this safe. We just ask that people understand that.
Utah Avalanche Center says that areas that have already had a slide are definitely more prone to seeing another one. So with that snow in our forecast for tomorrow morning, they're going to be keeping a close eye on things here. One other thing to note, we do have some signs here at the base of the canyon letting everybody know that all of the backcountry here in Little Cottonwood is completely closed, so plan accordingly. Live in Little Cottonwood Canyon, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Elle, thank you. Now to a developing story. We're learning more about the deceased brother of Lori Vallow, the mother of the 2 missing children from Rexburg, Idaho. Newly obtained court documents say the brother, named Alex Cox, is accused of threatening to kill Lori's 3rd husband in Texas back in 2007. Fast forward to last summer, and Cox ended up shooting and killing Lori's husband, Charles Vallow, in what he claimed was self-defense. Then Cox passed away in December. Now, police have not yet revealed how he died, but people who knew him personally were surprised to hear all this.
In all impressions, he was a good-looking, funny guy. Like I said, charming and...
Lori's children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, have been missing since September. Lori and her newlywed husband, Chad Daybell, have not been cooperating with police and are persons of interest in their disappearance. The grandparents of the 2 children are now offering a $20,000 reward to anyone who helps bring JJ and Tylee home safe. Of course, we're continuing to follow this case of these 2 missing Idaho children. Stick with Fox 13 News both on the air and online for the latest updates.
New at 9, Ogden Police asking for your help tonight. Right now, they're searching for Bernadette Mitchell. She's 62 years old. She walked away from her assisted living center this morning near 9th and Harrison Boulevard. Bernadette was wearing a black parka-style coat. If you see her, please contact Weber Dispatch. And Bountiful Police looking for your help as well. They hope you recognize this man. They say he is a suspect in a theft and credit card fraud investigation. If you know who this is, or if this is you and there's a reasonable explanation, please contact Bountiful Police.
Tonight, we're hearing from the police officers who pulled a woman out of a burning home in Layton this morning, saving her life.
Fox 13's Spencer Joseph has their story.
Brian Kirsten, we were able to speak with those officers who risked their lives to get that woman out of the house, and I'm very happy to report that because of their efforts, she's alive and doing just fine.
While I was responding, Officer Porter arrived on scene. He advised that there was an active smoke and flame coming from the house.
There were people outside who informed me that the woman on the phone was still inside the house. There was flames and smoke coming out of the house.
Officer Mitchell Porter was the first one on scene. When he got there, he tried to do everything he could to get into the home with that woman still trapped inside.
We tried the front door and it was too thick with smoke, so we eventually went out to a back window.
Lots of smoke, and to the point where Officer Porter had to get some fresh air.
Once I had her hand, I was kind of done at that point, so other officers who had responded at that point came and pulled me out of the window well and got her out of the window.
Amazingly, Officer Porter was able to hang onto her hand through a tiny window with smoke pouring out. Both of them sent to the hospital afterwards. Officers took us behind the caution tape to show us the small space where they were able to pull that woman from.
So this is the window well. Officer Porter was on the right side here, where the victim, her hand was coming out through that right side of the window. So when I jumped down on this left-hand side, Officer Porter got out to get some air while we had her hand, and right around where you're standing is where we all reached down and we pulled her out. I don't even know. It seemed like it was quick, but I'm sure it was 5 minutes.
After we asked these officers how it felt to be heroes, but they just shrugged off that notion, telling us.
I was just doing a job. I had other officers who pulled me out of the window well. If they didn't show up and help me, I wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Such an incredible story. Now, at last update, fire crews are still working to figure out the cause. In studio, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still to come tonight, Utah's Lieutenant Governor under siege for comments made on the topic of abortion. What was said and how it struck a nerve.
And Utah Senator Mike Lee also getting some pushback tonight. We look deeper into his harsh critique following an intelligence briefing involving the U.S. and Iran.
Hey, we're starting the week off in Eden, Utah, and we're checking out Kuna Bistro. Is it delicious? Is it good? It probably is. That's why we're headed there.
Call 911 and tell them you've attempted suicide.
Gunshot wound to the abdomen.
We have to take this from here.
Do you know why he shot himself?
Chastain billed him for $100,000 and then sued him.
Why couldn't Dr. Hawkins go with me?
Because he doesn't work here anymore.
The Resident, Tuesday at 7 on Fox 13.
At Speedway, we're always looking out for you. That's why we invest in industry-leading technology like our fast and secure pumps. Equipped with state-of-the-art card readers, with the latest advances in credit card security to keep your information safe at thousands of Speedway locations. Which means when you fill up here, you know Speedway's got your back. So you can get what you need and get on your way.
Official fuel of IndyCar. The Turkey Del Taco is back, made with fresh, hand-grated ingredients, double the great-tasting seasoned turkey, and 40% less fat. Now get 2 for just $3. The Turkey Del Taco, one more way to eat well with Del.
Need a change of scenery? Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites and filters by cabin class, Wi-Fi, and more, so you can be confident you're getting the right flight at the best price. Kayak, search one and done.
As winter conditions arrive,
You can see feet of snow in the mountains.
Fox 13 is your first alert source for weather.
We're taking it out to Scott McCain and the Weather Beast.
First with Utah's only all-local morning news.
A foot or two of snow in the northern
First with more on-air newscasts than anyone.
UDOT officials knew
And first in the evening with our primetime news at 9.
Let's go to Fox 13's Kristen Van Dyke.
When severe weather
You're going
hits,
to have snow showers developing throughout the day.
there's only one place to turn. Fox 13's first alert weather. Let's connect.
We have 10 unexpected ways to use your microwave that will blow you away.
Eggplant parm in the microwave. Monday to 2 on Fox 13.
New at 9, Lieutenant Governor and gubernatorial candidate Spencer Cox is under fire over comments that he made on abortion. Take a listen.
I truly believe that at some point in the future, future generations will look back on us today, and they will look at abortion the way we look at slavery. It will go down in history as one of the greatest travesties in the history of humankind.
Cox appeared with 3 other Republican candidates for governor at the Eagle Forum. They were asked if they would sign a bill defining life as beginning at conception. House and Senate Democrats are angered by Cox's comments. State Representative Sandra Hollins released a statement saying, in part, to compare the brutal enslavement of Black Americans to a woman's constitutionally protected right is offensive. Human bondage, forced labor, and destruction of families is the darkest possible mark on our nation's soul, and its effects are still felt to this day. Representative Hollins is the first African-American woman to serve in the Utah legislature.
Utah Senator Mike Lee giving more insight into his harsh words that came after an intelligence briefing last week. Senator Lee called that briefing into the United States' use of force in Iran the worst he's ever seen in his 9 years in the Senate. Fox 13's John Franke takes a look at the senator's explanation.
Senator Mike Lee addressed the Utah Eagle Forum this weekend. He says it is good that General Qasem Soleimani is dead, but he's not backing down from his support of the War Powers Resolution, which could limit further action taken by the president in Iran.
I don't get mad that often.
But Senator Mike Lee admits he was mad after attending a classified briefing on Iran. This clip from Wednesday proves it.
It's un-American, it's unconstitutional, and it's wrong.
Now he's explaining what set off that anger.
They did not bring their best work to the table that day.
Lee is describing White House advisors who he believes did the president a disservice by withholding from Congress intelligence that led to the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani.
We then reminded them that we were in a classified environment. We were in an underground bunker, several stories beneath the ground floor of the Capitol, and that this was exactly the appropriate place in which to share that. And they said, yeah, maybe some other time.
That's where the senator says they got it wrong.
It was insulting, not to me, but to you. It's insulting to people like my friend Corey Green and like my friend Jenny Taylor, who themselves and their own families have paid a significant price for freedom. We owe it to them and to their families, to you and to your families, to do it the way that we're supposed to do it.
Lee cites Article 1 of the Constitution with outlining the way he maintains it's supposed to be done, giving Congress the power to declare war.
If we're going to engage in further hostile acts against Iran, we need to do so as the Constitution endorses.
Lee is still an avid supporter of the president, but he believes the Constitution demands Congress should have a say in any prolonged military conflict.
I think we can all agree that war, generally speaking, is something we want to avoid, and it's not something we want to undertake lightly.
Senator Lee added he spoke with the president and said they are friends through this. He also praised President Trump for using restraint that he said makes the United States look stronger. In the newsroom, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Taking a look at weather now, and you know, if you already weren't just like dreading the start of the new week, to add salt into the wound, your drive tomorrow morning, not looking too great, right, Breck?
It was messy this morning. It's kind of a repeat. We're going to allow the weather beast. We're going to unveil it once again tomorrow, getting you ready, up to date, hour by hour, what you can expect for your morning commute, because we're bringing back the snow, where we had the snow throughout the morning into the afternoon. Fairly quiet along the Wasatch Front, downtown Salt Lake City. Things are good. It's chilly out there. The official high today in Salt Lake City, 34 degrees, so temperatures below normal, as we'll keep temperatures in the 30s here for the next few days. We've got 20s and 30s along the Wasatch Front. It's chilly in Park City with current temperatures in the teens. So as we're bringing the precipitation with temperatures either at freezing or below, of course, it will be snow and it'll be sticking to the roads. Very cold eastern Utah, Uinta Basin. We've got temperatures right now at 0 degrees, teens in Price, currently 17 degrees in Moab, upper 30s in St. George. So the storm that hit this weekend, that's one. We've got two more to be speaking about. First, the one hitting tomorrow. It's going to actually be hitting early in the morning, so getting things going for your morning commute if you have to leave anywhere between 4 a.m. upwards of 10 a.m. You're going to be encountering the snow, slushy conditions. And again, the storms impacting us will be Monday and Tuesday. Even after that, though, we won't be done with the snow, or we've got another storm lining up, at least for northern Utah. Most of these storms will be mainly impacting northern Utah, pushing towards central Utah, maybe getting as far south as Fillmore, but that's about it. You can see from the National Weather Service, we have watches and warnings in place, mainly across the north, but looking at southeastern Utah, the mountains there, we can see some snow in the overnight hours. Now, avalanche watch in effect still across extreme northern Utah, the Wasatch Mountains there. But for the valleys, Wasatch Mountain valleys, western Uinta Mountains, that winter weather advisory will be in place until tomorrow morning. That's for this next storm only. Now, how much snow are we talking about? Let's first look at the mountains, and let's just look over the next 24 hours initially. We can see the range anywhere on the low end with 4 to 5 inches at Park City, close to a foot at Snowbird. Significant snow as you make your way further northward. That's until tomorrow at 9:30. Now let's go the following 24 hours, pushing through Tuesday. Looking like adding some additional anywhere between 3 upwards of 10 inches of new snow. All in all, we could be seeing an additional 1 to 2 feet of snow here over the next couple of days. Now, the storm that's hitting, again, early Monday morning through your morning commute. Valleys seeing some snow accumulations, not as significant, 2 to 3 inches in Logan, 1 to 2 inches in Ogden through Salt Lake City, Provo as well. Less expected over towards Tooele, Park City. As we're talking at the base amount, actually in the city, 4 to 6 inches, less towards eastern Utah, but still, especially along the benches, looking like you could be doing some shoveling, and even for some valley locations. It's quiet now. Few clouds in place. We look upstream though. There's our next storm for Monday. And it's really impacting mainly Monday morning's commute. The next storm right behind it coming through Tuesday. So as we're looking at a messy Monday morning commute, your afternoon commute should be okay. Again, this storm mainly impacting northern Utah, Wasatch Front, down through, as I mentioned, maybe as far south as Fillmore, but the focus will be mainly across the north. Now Tuesday, the storm really doesn't get going until the afternoon commute. That's the concern spot. Then we get a break as we look on Wednesday. But for tonight, we're going to see that snow across northern Utah, overnight lows getting down into the upper 20s, teens in Logan. Central and southern Utah, we're seeing some clouds, maybe a few showers near Moab. For most of central and southern Utah tomorrow, you're clear. We're seeing the snow, again, mainly for northern Utah, with highs very similar to what we found today, a little bit warmer across the south, where for St. George, you're enjoying the sunshine. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rain though on Thursday, a little cooler Friday, nice for the weekend, as we'll rebound back into the 50s. Northern Utah, it's snow tomorrow, Tuesday, break on Wednesday. Then the next storm hits Thursday, lingering on into Friday. Should be out of there for the weekend. Oh my goodness, the ski resorts are loving this. Be careful though, cautious with avalanches, and of course be careful in your travels here for the next couple of days.
Good advice. Thanks, Brett. Still to come, there's a foster family shortage happening now in southern Utah. How community leaders are working to find forever homes for local kids.
And letting others do the heavy lifting, how a major airline is joining forces with a Utah tech company to take a load off some businesses.
Sizzler's Steak and Endless Salad Bar is here for only $10.99. Hurry in for a hand-cut flame-grilled 6-ounce steak with one of our delicious sides and our Endless Salad Bar featuring fresh salad, soup, and dessert. Only $10.99 and only at Sizzler.
Each week, we test vehicles, compare them, and evaluate their features so you can see what you like. The Car Critic, Saturdays on Fox 13 News. Brought to you by LHM Used Car Supermarket. Over 1,000 vehicles in inventory. Shop online at LHMUsedCars.com.
When I suit up for a game, I dress to win. In a great fitting suit from Mr. Mac. Now during the winter clearance, save on men's suits. Single pant suits start at $179. 2-pant suits start at $229. Stock up on quality slacks. Buy one, get one half off. Save on shirts, ties, and a huge selection of sports coats. Plus find red tag savings throughout the stores. Dress to win at Mr. Mac, the home of fast-free alterations.
At Dollar Loan Center, there's no origination fees or application fees. Some lenders charge an upfront fee just to process your loan. Ridiculous. We get you in and out in around 30 minutes or apply online.
Veterinary technicians are important because they are the heart of the veterinary clinic. Broadview University is the only vet tech school in Utah that is accredited. They're learning everything that they need to know to go into the field to be a successful technician. We have smaller class sizes. We are here to help them succeed every step of the way. For me, a lot of them are like my children, and seeing them succeed, it's an emotional experience.
Come into Arctic Circle and get a famous Arctic Circle double cheeseburger combo for just $3.99. As always, made with 100% Black Angus beef. This is a limited time offer, so come in today. Arctic Circle, where the good stuff is.
Those pre-existing conditions are protected.
A broken promise. Trump repeatedly tried to undermine coverage for 134 million Americans with pre-existing conditions.
He just doesn't care if you have a pre-existing condition. He wants to deny you access to coverage. If he is reelected, he'll keep trying to do that. And I think we can't let that happen.
As president, Mike will lower costs and protect Americans with pre-existing conditions.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
Share your heart, foster a child. That's the message from community leaders in St. George.
They're calling for families to step up and help local children. Fox 13's Kelly Chapman shows us the urgent need for foster families.
In the next couple months, the need is going to become all the more urgent.
An urgent need in southern Utah. The Utah foster care system says there is a foster family shortage in the region.
So currently there are about 220 children in foster care and only about 110 foster families to care for them.
And the problem could only get worse. Community leaders in St. George are joining forces with the nonprofit Utah Foster Care. They're calling on families to become foster parents for children of all ages who have been abused or neglected.
We need to fill that gap to get more families in to help meet the need of more children who are coming into the system.
Yes, I'm a foster parent.
Misty Greer has been a foster parent for 12 years now.
So I had 3 of my own already.
3 kids of her own, and through foster care, Misty says her family has adopted 3 more children.
You know, they don't really have anywhere to go right now, and they need someone to love and take care of them.
But adoption after foster care is not always the case, and not always an option. Misty says the most important thing these foster children need right now is stability.
Being able to, you know, not be bounced back and forth between parents or other family members or things like that. You know, they kind of get that stability that kids really do need.
The numbers are the same relating to foster parents, not so with kids in care. That number continues to increase.
With more children entering foster care and not enough homes to help them, leaders are asking families to step up.
Just kind of be a little bit of a bright hope, I guess, for them.
Kelly Chapman, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And if you're interested in becoming a foster parent or learning more about it, Utah Foster Care is hosting a free foster dinner event on January 15. It's going to be held at the Washington County School District offices in St. George. You can also find more information online at utahfostercare.org.
A Utah tech company is teaming up with Delta Airlines to make people's jobs easier and maybe even save you some time.
Here's Fox 13's Jordan Hogan with what they're using to make all that happen.
Sarcos unveiled an exoskeleton that lets people lift heavy objects with ease. Now Delta says they want their employees to start using it very soon. They look like something out of the movies or even video games. Now a company in Salt Lake City is making it possible to lift heavy objects with the help of something called the Guardian XO.
Imagine if we could turn our team members into superhumans, giving them superhuman strength, superhuman endurance, the ability to safely lift a lot of weight.
It's a full-body exoskeleton that lets a human lift up to 200 pounds repeatedly for up to 8 hours at a time without straining or getting tired. Sarcos says the user bears none of the weight of the exoskeleton or what it's carrying.
It's really simple when the robot's doing all the work. It's lessening the load on your arm. So a lot of the stuff that you think you can't do, the robot's doing for you.
It can also be put on or taken off in under a minute. The exoskeleton could help ground crew transfer your luggage onto and off of your flight quicker, therefore making your departure and arrival faster.
It's exciting to see how we'll be able to use it in the workforce. Hopefully with this new exo suit, it will help prevent a lot of injuries that may happen.
It could also speed up the time it takes to perform maintenance on aircraft with heavy objects.
More people have opportunities to stay in their current roles longer because they can do the job longer. You know, we have employees who love what they do and would love to do it forever. This technology can actually help that.
Delta plans to test the tech in a pilot location during the first quarter of 2020. Delta hasn't said which location will be chosen, but I have a feeling it will be Salt Lake City, seeing as we have a Delta hub here and some local crew have been testing it. In studio, Jordan Hogan, Fox 13 News, Utah.
But I'm assuming that it was just seconds.
Utah woman describing her recent holiday trip disrupted by earthquakes, her experience visiting family in Puerto Rico.
And he was a public servant for more than 3 decades, serving in law enforcement and as a state lawmaker. Recently retired Lee Perry talks about the drastic changes he's seen during his career in tonight's 3 questions.
News breaks.